Welcome to the Pink Lady Posse podcast, women who refuse to disappear. You are either creating your life or living one you inherited. Friction management. It matters because breakthrough is your way out of drift. See the drag? Return to say, let's go. Well, obviously something big is happening because I'm wearing this hat. And it's not a normal way we start out our podcast on Pink Lady Posse podcast. So let me tell you what's up. This Friday, April 17th, I'm turning 70. The big 7-0, and it's only going to happen once in my lifetime. So we're having some special celebrations, and I want to invite you. First of all, I'd love for you to join me on the Zoom on Friday, April 17th, 12 Central. 2, we're building a party playlist. So if you have your favorite party songs, feel free to get it to me. And 3, I made you a present. And I'm bringing that gift to give it to you on my birthday party. So I hope you can make the Zoom. If you can't, I'll get it to you personally. So here's how you connect with all this fun. Go to sandybythedoor.com. sandybythedoor.com. Why Sandy by the Door? Because I'll be standing there waiting for you. And you'll see a big sign that says, come on in. It's a big party. We'd love to have you there. I am Sandy Parker Martinez, and I'm here with Stacy Hartman, who is a trusted advisor for visionaries, builders, and people who want to take money and make it serve the world.
Yes, you said it right. That is the entire mission. How do we use our money in a way that serves the world? And it's much simpler than we think it is.
So, first of all, I have to say, when I met Stacy, I saw her on Facebook and I read a story of her success and revision of the way she wants to live. Like you're accomplished, Stacy, like in some real ways we say she did this and that and that. So tell me about what you did and then where you are now, because I'm inspired.
Well, I think this is why I'm here to teach and speak around money because my career started in nonprofit education and government, where I was working with, economically disadvantaged families every single day, and seeing that that trauma and that challenge and that strife that comes with those challenges. And and then also working in nonprofit and securing funding and fundraisers and working with philanthropists and foundations. And so my entire journey, as I reflect back, has been always immersed in the multifaceted world of money and finance. And and then after that work and after working with kids and helping them thrive, at-risk youth, and helping them, dream bigger for themselves and even explore what their gifts are and how they can share their gifts with the world and make a contribution. And then knowing that that is ultimately what money floods towards, is when we're sharing our gifts and making contributions in the way that's aligned with who we are and what we're here to do, our purpose. Then I moved into working with, people in their careers and helping them land their dream jobs and how to use their gifts to get into jobs that were a better match for them. And then from there, that was starting my own business. I've continued to start multiple businesses, and I've been sucked into the more is more financially myself. I've learned all the toughest lessons, pursuing more money, reaching financial milestones, all while losing myself and losing my soul. And I feel like now I'm in a season of my life where I'm just coming back to what it really means to have a relationship with money, but not under the name of like more and more and more and pursuit and chase. More so recognizing that we're already whole and complete, that I have access to love and joy and peace and laughter and fun and adventure, whether I make another dollar in my life or not. And also that money can be used as a tool to create new experiences of all of those things. So that's what I kind of feel is the ultimate relationship with money is you can live a full life without making another dollar, but by golly, doesn't mean you're not going to make more money to live a full life in a lot of other ways too.
Okay, so this is a true confession.
Let's do it.
My one regret is I haven't made the amount of money that I wanted to make. Like I thought, I'm skilled, I'm competent, I'm caring, I have a mission, and money seems to be evaporative. Like, where the hell is it? Am I the only one?
No, we're all there, all have been there, all continue to find ourselves way there. I mean, just this week, Sandy, I walked into Target. I needed to get a new electric toothbrush, and despite the fact that I've been studying, living, failing forward, scraping my knees on wealth consciousness for I don't know, 2 decades, I walked in to get a new toothbrush, and which toothbrush did I choose? I chose the 4100 as opposed to the 6100 because it was going to save me $30. My scarcity mindset just popped right up out of nowhere, and now I am using a toothbrush that is not nearly as strong as another toothbrush could have been, and I use it on my teeth 2 times a day, and every single time I use my toothbrush, I kick myself for pinching pennies for something that I was going to use so frequently, and that actually really means a lot to me to have great, healthy teeth. So I want to say that all that to say, you're not alone. And even once you kind of figure things out, it's so easy to lose yourself again in old money stories, in old operating systems that aren't really serving or empowering us to have a powerful relationship with money, with wealth.
Well, the interesting thing about money is it's like a figure, a fictitious figure that I've been taught about. Like it's out there. It isn't right here. It's like out there, and I'm going to one day run into it in something. And the truth of it is, I have plenty of money to live,
Yeah.
but I want money like I've become something because I made this amount of money.
Say more about that. Become what? Because you've made that amount of money.
Well, it's like, okay, so I'm successful. I have enough money to live every month. I have no wants, no needs. But the story is there's an amount of money out there that when I make it, I've now reached some
Mm.
arrival point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like, okay, finally, I'm going to be 70 in April and I haven't reached it yet. And I've been like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Is it 30?
What?
Is it 3,000 a month? Is it 30,000 a month? Is it 3 million? I have no idea what it is. It's sort of this ghost of something I'm aiming for that I don't even, what is that?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just I love how you said it. It's a fictional number. It's like, and anybody who's in the coaching consulting online world, then the industry gives us specific numbers. It's 6 figures or it's 7 figures or it's 8 figures. Well, like just these numbers that are just made up that have no real meaning. And here you're saying like you live a full life. You have all of these amazing things happening. Your needs are met, your wants are met, like really living a full life. And so then what purpose would money have in your life when you feel that way about it, other than something that has told you that this is what happens when you reach that fictional number, but it's not you. It's not your desire. It's almost like it's supposed to be your desire, but it's not actually your desire. That doesn't mean that there's not a desire to make more money, but that desire, there's no connection to it. So, of course, money's not responding to that type of desire. That's like, well, it's just what I'm supposed to do. It's just what I should be doing. It's just what I should be wanting. But when you connect what you really want in on top of what you already are experiencing and having, then money has a place to land because money needs a place to land that is in alignment with the truth of who you are and your values and what matters to you and what you want to experience in this lifetime. If we don't
Okay,
give it a
wait,
place to
wait,
land,
wait,
it can't
wait.
come.
You got to say that again. Money needs a place to land.
Yes.
What does that mean?
You have to know what you want it for, what you really want it for. And you have permission to dream about what that is. And also, the trickiest place to play with this is there's a as we're uncovering our desires, we can become attached to them. And then all of a sudden we can find ourselves not feeling grateful for everything that we were grateful for before we wanted more money. And so what we're trying to hold is this duality of I live, and this is exactly what you were just saying, Sandy, like you live an amazing, full, abundant life exactly as it is
Totally,
right now.
totally.
It is whole and it is complete in all the ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except I haven't made six figures or seven figures, or, it's like there's a number out there that I haven't arrived at.
And why, with how you feel about your life, what do you think that would bring you that you don't already have?
Money to give away.
Mm. And where would you want to give it?
Oh my gosh, I have 10 places. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, I'm studying friction. Friction is anything that puts drag on your life, right? Like, I'll tell you a story. It was so funny. I was on my way to Austin and my gas gauge came on. I'm like, oh, don't come on. Do I not have gas? And it was like, at first I was like, ugh, it means something about me. And then I was like, oh, it's a sign that you have a choice to not run out of gas on 35.
Mhm.
And my gratitude shifted. I was like, I am so glad I have this light that comes on that says you could use more gasoline. And it
What a
wasn't
shift.
judging me. It was a thing. It's just a thing.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean anything about me. It just it's like, hey, you could use more gas.
Yeah.
And I totally love that when we have signs along the way that say, hey, you could use more gas. That's the way money feels to me. Hey, you could use more gas and you could do this and that and that and that. But it isn't a negative. It isn't like I'm without, I don't have enough, I'm a loser. It's not any of that. But money is very ghost-like,
Mm.
right? It has like a feeling with it. Like I look at you and go, Stacy, you made some serious bucks. I have not made those same serious bucks. And I want to know what it's like. I want to know how you did it. I want to know what happened. Like it seems so Disney movie like.
Mm. So that's the story that kind of plays out for you when you think about
Isn't that
having
interesting?
yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because, and that's like yeah, it makes perfect sense because it's something that you're saying you haven't experienced yet. So, and uh, the way that I experience you, Sandy, just with this childlike imagination and exploration and all of these pieces, it makes sense that you apply that exact same thing to money and you imagine, oh, it must just be like this way or that way or this way. And I
Yeah,
can assure you, the way that it is whoever you are while you're experiencing it. So, how I experience money and financial overflow is so unique to me that it would never be the same for anybody else. And I've experienced financial overflow in it doesn't make sense, but it's in beautiful ways. And it's been beautiful when I've used it to amplify my values, when I've used it to expand on what I already am and who I know myself to be. And I've experienced it as challenge and a mirror to the darker sides of myself, like um, buying things from a place of not enough, or wanting to prove something. Or so money it is a ghost. That's a perfect way to describe it because it's literally a blank canvas that we paint on. And what we paint on it with is our energy and our intention for wanting it and for receiving it and for holding it and for circulating it and for investing it. That intention is what drives our experience with it, not money ever by itself.
It is so crazy. And I'm studying friction, and that women can see friction for what it is and detach friction from what it means about them. Just like the gaslight. I'm out of gas. Well, it's just a thing. It doesn't mean anything about me.
Yeah.
But when I come to money, ugh, it feels like it means something about me.
Hmm.
Like what I'm able to do, what I'm not able to do, what I'm magically attracting, what I'm not. There's all this sort of fuzz around money.
Yeah. How would you be moving through, we'll say business, right? Because business, there's naturally a lot of different money flow coming in and going out when we're operating a business. How would you be interacting differently with the money in your business if you saw it the same way you saw that gas light or the gas in your tank?
I would use it as a meter,
Hmm.
nothing more. It's a meter of this or that, not me or not me, or, all that. And that's what I love so much is that women, we take so much to mean something about us.
Yeah.
Like I haven't made seven figures. I think I even made six figures. But I mean, seven figures is like a bigger deal. But I'm making it up. I'm totally making it up what that means about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to tell you, I'm going to switch just for a minute because my birthday is coming up April 17th. I'm going to be 70. Woo! My big 7-0.
Amazing. Amazing.
And I'm going to give away the first two chapters of my new book because what feels right for me is to give away what I know to anyone that can have it.
Hmm.
Now, somebody might say, well, you could sell it. You could sell the book. I don't want the money for the book.
Right.
I want to give away what I know to be meaningful and useful as a legacy. And so maybe I'm just not attached to money at all.
It feels like, so this is where, like when it comes to a book, right? I mean, that's legacy level. You're sharing wisdom from your nearly 70 years of life of being a woman on this earth. And that's legacy movement level messaging and meant for the masses. It's not meant to have boundaries or standards around it. It's once it's
Right.
written, you can disseminate it all over the world and it can spread and spread and spread. So
Mhm.
to me that like that book and that vision around a book is exactly that. It's a great tool to spread your message. And the truth of the matter is a $15 book, I mean, you'd have to work so hard to
No,
turn
no,
that
no.
into,
You're never going to
right?
sell enough books, right? It's not
No,
that.
no. So that makes a lot of sense for the book. So then the way that I start to see money is as a tool for self-nourishment and as a tool also as um, gatekeeper to the gifts and contributions that I have to make. So, for example, a book, it can spread far and wide, free information. Somebody who wants me to take a deep look at their identity with money, their relationship with money, what would mean the most to them and how they want to receive money. How much money really do they want to receive that's in alignment with what they truly want, not just what they think they want. All of that work requires a lot of capacity and a lot of personal mining and digging. That requires money is the gatekeeper to that level of gift. So you see, like I see money as the gatekeeper to, if you want the potency of the contributions I have to make, if you want the customization, if you want the closeness, if you want the proximity, that requires a certain level of investment. And if that's not what your desire, that's great. You can access my book, you can watch my videos, you can read all my content, like you can do all that. So you see, I see money as one of those tools as like your gifts are so powerful. And the truth of the matter is that you only have so much capacity. We're limited human beings. We only have so many hours in the day. And so it is a gatekeeper to my time and my gifts as because at the end of the day, I can't give it all away for free. I would just be dead on the side of the road, exhausted. At some point, we can't give it all away for free. And your gifts are valuable and they make a difference. How does that like
I love
land?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I just sat in it for a minute. I was like, yeah, because the thing of it is, my legacy is what I want to give to the world. And if you want to be with me daily or weekly or discover, that's a whole nother world. But what I want to share with the world is what I have come across that is life-giving so that everybody has access to it. But I love the whole idea of the gift. I have, I would love to give you everything, and charging you for something is where it goes. There's a something there.
Yeah. Let's imagine that this is a beautiful exercise to play with money and receiving and all this. Like like if you had an alter ego, who would you say is a woman, dead or alive, that you admire deeply?
Hmm. How can I not think of anyone?
We could say
Well, I want to
Oprah.
say, who I love is Superwoman in the movie,
Yeah.
where she's looking over the terrain, or Evita, where
Okay,
she goes,
awesome.
those are my people, and I want to take care of them. I want to make sure they have. So it's sort of a lofty, overlooking person. I
What
used
about
to.
somebody that has in the physical created significant impact and contribution to the world? Could be Mother Teresa, it could be uh, Oprah. Is anybody that you, like is a living, breathing example of touching up many, many, many the masses of other humans?
Let's go with Oprah because it's very understandable,
Okay, perfect. Let's do
right?
that. So if Oprah had the same philosophy that you do about every person who comes into her space or her field, she just wants to give it all away. Where would Oprah be if that's what she did?
I hate it you asked me that question.
Doesn't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
And so this is a part of like when you start envisioning the legacy work that you already have so top of mind and heart, you start to imagine yourself being in that position, thousands of women, millions of women, however many women that you're touching, and you're walking into a restaurant with your husband, at which I saw your wedding video when he was singing to you. So
Oh, thank you.
moving.
Wasn't that so cute?
It was it was so awesome. Um, and you walk into a restaurant and there's a line of 50 people that want to just talk to you and be in your energy. You don't have the capacity. You're just trying to eat dinner with your partner, with your love. You don't have the capacity to pour into every soul that wants a piece of your attention. So how do you build standards and principles about how they access? Well, you want to come to dinner with me? I can only do so many dinners and still have my life. So the barrier to access in a way is an investment. And it's worth that investment because that 20 minutes with you, Sandy, having dinner and soaking up your energy and your excitement, that could turn around and create a ripple effect of abundance in their life. You see, there's ROI inherently involved in spending that time with you. And that's just the financial ROI, not to mention the human ROI that comes
Right,
out of being able
right.
to spend that time.
Well, I like the idea of access.
Quick question. Have you noticed how easy it is to drift through this season of life? Not unhappy, just slightly checked out. Yeah, that. At Think Pink, we don't fix women. We help them come alive again. Honest conversation. Easy occasions for discovery. No duct taping a smile over burnout. No reinvent your entire life by Tuesday. Just people who care and gentle nudges that help you feel like yourself again. I mean, the truth is, you can't be your best self by yourself. If that sentence made something in you nod, we made a free Think Pink starter gift just for you. Come take a look. No fixing, just connection. Go to pinkladyposse.com and click on Think Pink. Stay awake to your own life and not alone.
Well, I like the idea of access. I was doing a coaching program one time and they said, you are the special sauce. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? My time is getting more and more finite. So my access is more and more finite. In fact, the only thing I have right now that you can even pay for is our Saturday morning Think Pink Circle, where you get actually one-on-one listening to where you are limited. And it's so beautiful to see where women go, oh my gosh, I've been doing that to myself. I'm like, oh my, the value of that is unlimited.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
have a woman, it's so beautiful that you would say that because she keeps wanting to give her power away to her children because she's 84. And she's so afraid they're going to put her in a nursing home. And she lives in this luxury, beautiful place. And I said, no, you are not giving your power. Don't ask them. Ask your doctor, make your own decision.
Mhm.
And I don't know why that comes to me, except that we have a say in how our life goes. That's
Yeah,
really what matters the most to me.
you're helping her set boundaries to live her best life. And what we're talking about is how you set your own boundaries and standards with your time and who gets access and proximity because it is gold. Your energy is liquid gold. And we can't just pour it out to anybody and everybody that wants it. It's gold.
Well, my birthday, 4/17, this year is my curfew. It's my it's my point of motion.
Mm,
And I'm giving away wisdom, and then I'm calling in who wants life anew. Because what I have is, it's very powerful.
yeah.
But you are a witness to me that there are women out there who do that and have the income and the realm of choice. I mean, you've had income and you've taken yourself out of income. You have the realm of choice.
Mhm.
What would you say about that?
Yeah, to me, that's the really the only purpose of more money is more choice to live out your values and what matters most to you. And so, for example, I always use this is the example I always use. One of my highest values is beauty. And we know we can go into nature and be moved to tears with the beauty that we get to face just by presence. And so beauty's free. And also I love being surrounded by a beautiful environment. So the first place when I started making really great money in my business that I knew I was going to land it was to remodel my home, was to get a designer in who I could explain exactly what my style was and have her pull all the pieces together using her gifts. That took investment in somebody else's gifts. So that's the other beautiful thing about making a contribution and wanting to help other people. When we have our own desires, we're now circulating money to other people's gifts and contributing in really cool ways. So now the designer comes in and room by room, I bring my entire environment into complete alignment with my vision of beauty and what will nourish me and inspire me and set the space for creativity, which then amplifies my service even more because now I'm more creative and less distracted and feeling less insecure. So you see, it just starts to become its own vortex of growth when you're making the choices in alignment with what you really value. Now, did I need to remodel my home? No. However, money gave me that choice, that option to honor somebody else's gifts. She wasn't just going to give all that design stuff away for free. That's the really cool thing, right? Is like we're willing to give so much away for free, but really, how much do you happily and joyfully pay for in other people's gifts? People love to invest in other people's gifts and receive them in exchange for money. So yeah, that's a whole nother tangent, but that's what its purpose is
No,
choice.
and so my question is, what does that feel like to have your house in alignment with who you are and what you want?
I mean, yeah, that is like that feeling is every single time I'll pull up the street to pull into the garage. I see the outside of our home, which is the outside, inside, everything was fully remodeled. And I say, I get to live in such a beautiful house. It's like the gratitude mirrors itself back in every little thing. My countertop, synchronicity. We were going to talk a little bit about synchronicity when we were talking at one point. Synchronicity. I just held a luxurious retreat for private clients in Florida. I look at the kitchen counter. Kitchen counter is the exact countertop as the countertop in my bathroom.
No way.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's just, and you start to notice all these little details, right? Like there's just this little fleck and this little glitter, and it's like there's so much presence when you're consciously choosing what to surround yourself with. So I feel like by making that choice in alignment with my value of beauty, and that almost everywhere I walk, it is mirroring back to me beauty and things that just make me smile, and just it feels so expansive. It feels so uh, aligned. It feels like home, as opposed to before I walked through. It's okay. A lot of tolerating. It's nice. It's okay. Not ideal. I could convince myself I was grateful. We live in a nice home. We have a roof over our heads, but my heart was just wanting it to be
Mm.
me, a mirror to how I really see the world, not a mirror to a just okay tolerated world.
I met with a woman yesterday. This is so crazy to me. She said, women in transition, she helps them create a wardrobe that is aligned with who they want to be next.
Mm,
So every time they walk in their closet, every choice they have is in alignment with who they want to be,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
widows or new mothers or divorced. I'm like, that is so powerful. And
So
what you're
powerful.
saying is living in an environment that aligns with who you are is life-giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much. Well, we were going to talk about serendipity, and the whole thing of meeting you was such a crazy deal. It was like I'm flipping through Facebook, and I'm on Facebook a lot, and I read your thing and I thought, man, I just feel like I know this woman. And then we met for a few minutes on Facebook, and I was like, this is so crazy that she would be, like she would be here and I'd be here and this be that. Now she's on a podcast. I'm like, What happened? So
That's serendipity.
I know, right? So
Yeah.
give me your take on serendipity.
It's not that much different than my take on money. It just reveals alignment. It's just like those little God winks or universe winks that say you're in the right path, you're in the right place at the right time on the path you've been destined to be on. And to me, they're also representative of intuition. So even our connection, and the stronger our relationship is to our women's intuition, or men have it as well, but this wise intuition part of ourselves, the more connected we are to that, I experience like there's more serendipity that I experience. So it also reveals to me I'm hearing my wiser voice, I'm listening to my wiser voice. And so us coming together, my wiser voice said, yes, connect with Sandy. And there's many people that will reach out again. I'm saying, your time is valuable, and who are you investing your time and your gifts in? And intuition, regardless of money, always comes first. And so many times people reach out and I'll feel an intuitive no. And so that's a no then. But with you, Sandy, it was like, yeah, let's connect. Let's just see where this goes.
Well, it was so crazy because I just bought your book. Then you said yes, and you set a time to get. I'm like, what is happening? There's like this sort of what would be the word? Like affirmed direction.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
not, I don't think it's magic. I think it's like choice, yes, yes. And I am determined that women understand they have a choice in how their life goes.
Mhm.
I mean, it's in so buried deep in my heart. I say it all day long. In
Mhm.
fact, it was so funny. I had a haircut the other day with somebody that butchered my hair. And my husband goes, I thought you had a say in how your life goes.
Oh, we always get our own medicine, don't
I'm
we?
like, I did, but she pulled out the clippers and I didn't stop her, but it's like, I don't know where I got that, but I know in my soul, I have a choice in how my life goes. I want every woman to have that.
Mm.
And wherever it's not that, it's friction.
Mhm.
It's a belief. It's an inherited thought. It's something else. And I want us to return to our say. What is mine to say? What is mine to be? What is mine to have? And what I read in your comment on that post was, I had all this in a bag of tricks,
Mhm.
and I have a say in how my life goes.
Yeah.
You made a choice.
Yeah. And most of the choices that were on that post were pivots, and they were intuitive choices that logically made no sense. So I think that's the really cool part about your message. And what you're saying to women is just because you made one choice, you get to change your mind and make a new choice once you outgrow it, once it's no longer in alignment, once it doesn't fully honor or express your gifts in the most powerful way to make the contribution you're here to make. Like, you get to change your mind. And that's probably the ultimate story of my life, is the number of pivots and complete trans career transformations I've stepped through. Um, just getting an intuitive hit one morning, and by the next day giving 2 weeks notice with no clue what's going to come next. And that's just the depth of trust that I have in our intuitive abilities and how they're connected to the all, to God, to the universe, and to everybody else. And it's always the fastest path to what we really want, is our intuition, even though it usually
So,
makes sense.
how did you learn that? Because a lot of women don't have that. Like, I mean, obviously, you have a gift of intuition, but having a hunch and having a hit and taking action, there's a gap until, right? How did you get that? Where did you come by that?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that we all have that gift buried underneath a lot of our limiting beliefs. So back to your friction work, as you're helping women remove friction, friction goes down, intuition goes up. Like that's just a given. It's a
Mm.
consciousness journey. And the more that we're in our not enoughness or insecurity or lack of confidence or indecision or all of these things that are friction that you're speaking into down here, as that friction's removed, who we are, I mean, men, women, all of us, who we are deeply intuitive, connected at the highest levels of consciousness, one with it all, one with all of you. Like there's this whole synchronistic grid connecting all of us as if we are one unit. And that's where we start just grabbing little threads from with intuition, and it comes from removing friction. And then as you hear it and you do it, you say insight act, or I'll say JFDI, just freaking do it. As soon as that hit or that intuition or that insight comes, it builds the trust muscle. Whereas, like, oh my gosh, I did it. I jumped without a net. I made a choice that was scary. I just did it because it felt, I knew it was the right decision, even though I didn't know where it was going to lead. And then you see where it leads, and that builds the trust muscle for when it comes up the next time. And then you act faster, and then they're even more fearless. And so my pivots have picked up speed as I've built that trust muscle to listen to that voice.
What was the biggest pivot that was the scariest?
The scariest was when I left youth work. So I built my first business helping at-risk kids, and we built an extremely successful program. 95% of the kids reduced their dropout rate, risk factors. Like it was incredibly successful, and multiple stakeholders, and a lot of hope and optimism from all these stakeholders. And then we were scaling the program, and we brought on more youth workers, and then I was moved into a kind of executive role to oversee the entire program. And that is not the best expression of my gifts. And my soul was about dead in 2 weeks' time. And I knew I had to leave, and I couldn't go back to what I was doing. So that was the biggest leap for me because I had never had a career outside of working with kids or in nonprofit. And I started a for-profit business for the first time from scratch, out of the blue, no idea what I was doing, and just knew I had to. It was by far the biggest pivot. It'd be easier to stay in nonprofit or education or government because that's what I knew. I never knew anything about building a business, and it was a vast learning curve.
Well, that was the other thing I was thinking of the other day. It's so easy to stay in what you're doing versus the answering the call to something new.
Yes,
In
yes, so
fact, I think
comfortable.
Hall and Oates had a song that said, the strong give up and go on, the weak give up and stay.
Mm,
It's
mm,
so easy to just stay when it's done.
yes, so easy,
Oh my gosh. Well,
so easy.
so I want to know about the book, how you happened to get this grant or whatever for the book.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
So
that not serendipity?
that was also intuition. I didn't even know I was going to be writing a book, but I had built a program for clients around building an aligned business with messaging and everything. And I delivered it multiple times. And then I was like, this could just be a book. It's already written, the framework's there. And I again, through serendipity, somehow followed some little breadcrumb trail, saw that the Hay House was having a writers contest, and Hay House is one of the top personal growth, spiritual development book publishers, and that at that writers contest, two or three people would be getting a book deal. And I just had this deep knowing I had to be there. And with that knowing, I also knew before ever submitting my proposal that that book deal was mine. And so yeah, out of a couple hundred people that were submitting proposals for those book deals, I was runner-up and got an $8,000 book deal to write my book, Metaconscious Entrepreneur, had it published, and that's that. That's the book deal.
Now, you got the deal before the book was written,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but it
Yep.
was
All we had was
already
a
in
proposal.
you to like put it out, right? Like you already had it in you. What do you think they saw that was so valuable?
I think it was a unique angle. So it was really about business energetics. So how do we approach business? Much like I'm talking about how we approach money, it's the same thing for business. And so the angle was unique. It wasn't just going into like traditional marketing, sales. It was every single aspect of business. How do we infuse intentionality and energy into it, and what happens when we do that? And success comes much faster, much easier, much simpler, less hustle, more flow, more serendipity. So that I think that the angle was just different. Nobody was really teaching how to build a business in that way.
Well, I listened to the whole book on Audible and I love the book, but I love you more. And what's so precious is that you're in my world. Like you're a woman over there somewhere in my world in Blooming Grove, Texas, making a difference to a 70-year-old woman who's just starting out.
Mhm.
Is
That's
that not miracle?
That's the beauty of exactly what we do and what you're doing with your book right now is you just have a message and you share it and people find it and it makes a difference. And I would say also like as you were sharing your vision, something that stands out to me is I have this, it's beautiful because we're able to have this connection and it could have been unseen impact. So I say there's unseen impact and there's seen impact. And I can look at how many clients I've worked with and how many hours I've coached and how many followers I have. And I have all those metrics and that's seen impact. But there's this whole rest of the world that it's rippling out in ways that you can't even fathom. And that's the unseen impact. And that is just as powerful and just as valuable. And I think as creators and as people wanting to share a message and create movements and legacy level, messages out there, sometimes we can look at our seen impact and say, gosh, this isn't doing what I thought it would do, but knowing the unseen impact that you'll never be able to measure is also happening, whether you know it or not. And that is a beautiful thing. So yeah, that's it's cool. We get seen impact by being connected in this way, but man, there's so much unseen impact that you're making, that people that are lurking in the background to everything that you're doing that you don't even know they're there and you're
I love
touching.
that so much. In fact, one of my good friends, she said, I said, if I could do anything all day, it would be hug people and tell them how amazing they are. Like I'm in love with people and how unique they are.
Yeah.
And when I get to give that away, it's just so precious.
Ah, and it's amazing. It changes everything. It changes everything for people to be seen and loved by a complete stranger in that way. Just
Well,
having presence. I
you,
mean,
Miss Stacy,
mm,
gave that to me, and I
mm,
really appreciate it. So I'm going to just say you get one big shot. Here's your message to any woman that is listening to this podcast. How would you summarize what you would like to say to them?
mm. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, no pressure, right? One big shot.
No planning either. That's what's so
No,
beautiful, right?
no.
It's like just what comes to mind. What would you
Mm.
share?
I would just share that every single human on this planet has a completely written permission slip to become wildly wealthy and use that wealth as the fullest expression of who you are, and knowing that that in and of itself impacts many, many people. Yeah.
I'm looking at your eyes. I'm so grateful you're with me. So grateful you would just hop on this podcast and share who you are with the people we get to share this message with. So, Stacy Hartman, thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Mwah. Thanks for tuning in to Pink Lady Posse Podcast, where women go from what now to what's next. Come join us at pinkladyposse.com, where we share community, resources, and tools to support your next beautiful chapter. With love, light, and a little lipstick. See you next time.